Hello everybody and welcome to this last semi-finals of Alpha X Apprentice Code S playoffs. This time we're gonna have Token versus Aster playing, and for the first time in Alpha X Apprentice we're gonna have a live casting. Finally, I'd say, because actually I was getting a little bit bored of casting from those replays, so I'm very happy to have those two very excellent players being available for this live cast. And actually the guys are already in a lobby and they're very eager to get into game one. And as I told you, it's gonna be Aster versus Token. The first map is gonna be Acropolis. Why is it Acropolis? Wait a moment. Well, it could have happened something bad. Unlikely I'm not the admin for the tournament, I'm just the caster. Yeah, it's a first map and then loses pick, and the guys actually had Vitas and they chose Acropolis as the first map, and they're supposed to play on Winter's Gate. And yeah, well, luckily I was there to save the day. Yeah, so we're gonna play on Winter's Gate. And, well, I'm not playing Token, do something about it. Anyway, we're ready, finally, to get into game one. Being like us, we're gonna have this little thing happens. And we're ready to go. Both players are ready. We're starting first map, Winter's Gate, Token versus Aster. Just a very weird thing just happened. Like, the game wasn't loading yet, but in my stream labs thing I was looking at the loading screen on my main monitor and nothing on it, and this is very weird. Spawning in the top left hand corner as the first semi-finalist of the Alpha X Apprentice Code S, the underdog, the veteran, it is the Polish player Token. Spawning instead in the bottom right hand corner of Winter's Gate, the blue Zerg, the behemoth Zerg, it is Aster. We have a very defensive and macro-based player against a very aggressive player, as Aster is. He always goes for the 17 pull and 17 hatch immediately after, just to be sure he doesn't get all into depth. And he's very scared about proxies, and that's probably the reason we're not gonna see a proxy coming from Token in those games. Of course, Token not really the proxy type of player, but once you acknowledge that actually Aster goes for 17 pull every game in CVT to actually stop for any potential proxy play from doing damage, it just gets like very useless for Token to actually go into a proxy play. Of course, if he can get that advantage going on for him, the 17 pull can net you a pretty bad early game up to like 4 minutes. Then you basically standardize, because you start to drone up all your bases, you don't need a lot of gas. And what is Togon SCV doing over here? Oh yeah, he's waiting for, yeah, very good call by Togon, who hides his SCV before going in for the scout, waiting for the links to move out. Of course, Togon also looks really prepared to deal with this. He has his SCV out for the scouting, while still having his Reaper back home to keep his command center from being delayed and just get... Oh, actually it's just shooting those links back into the base of Aster. Link speed not yet started, and he just now has the... Yeah, okay, I think Togon actually saw that the spawning pool was... Oh, maybe he didn't see actually. But link speed actually gets started for Aster. He just pulls one drone off a gas, so I'm expecting an overload speed follow-up. Two very powerful upgrades. Of course, overload. Oh, his skin is so cool. Look at them overloads. With overload speed, it's basically impossible for Togon to deny scouting to his opponent, so he's better off starting off with a Liberator than a Viking from his starport. Yeah, overload speed gets started for Aster. Because even if he goes for a Viking, it's gonna be so hard for him to deny scouting informations actually. And Aster is already trying to move in with the overload, knowing that the overload speed also takes a very little time from being made. As long as this overload over here stays alive, he's gonna have a good glimpse about what's coming at him anyway. Aster, good save on the links. One is actually going to fall while the Reaper escapes with his life. Oh gosh, very good catch by Aster with that second queen, just spreading creep all over the place. And overall, it is a very good defense by Aster of the Reaper play. Losing just one link, of course, it's meant to be a scouting tool, as I said, Liberator, and not Viking for Togon as an opener from his starport. Meanwhile, Aster is gonna see everything with his overload, and a Baneling mess is gonna be dropped back home for the reserve player. Third archery already been done. Aster on top of his macro play, and he's gonna get the first advantage in workers from the beginning of the game. He still has to keep himself safe from these aliens. They can deal some damage, but their only purpose is to deal some damage. Togon actually squeezing 2 more aliens in. It's gonna be the 6 aliens Liberator harassment. That if you're not paying close attention to it, can deal more damage than it's actually supposed to. But it looks like Aster has everything in place to actually all these spore I really like. I think that, yeah, the Liberator is gonna get targeted by that. Links try to get this round on top of the aliens. Aster is gonna lose a little bit too many links. That queen is very low as well. It's gonna lose the queen actually. Every alien gets surrounded, and they're probably all going to die without getting a lot of stuff done. But getting a queen, not very bad. From Togon is also getting 4 drones. Another pretty good call for the red Terran player, who's still trying to get on top of some worker kills. He's gonna get 1 more drone before losing the Liberator. And overall, Togon dealt quite a good amount of damage. 5 drones, 1 queen, while getting all the scouting information he needed. He knows there is a lair already on the way for Aster. He still doesn't know what's the name of the play for his opponent, but 3 gases, actually all the gases been taken except the gases in the natural for Aster, who wanted to hide something, I think, from his opponent without getting the gases in the natural. So yeah, it is hiding something. In fact, it is a spire play for Aster that has taken a lot of gases, hoping his opponent wouldn't scout it. This is gonna be a mutual in Bane play, that's for sure. Bane speed immediately gets started, and double lever chambers, of course, is gonna help the zero player into getting some very helpful upgrade for his lanes. Plus 2 melee for the lanes. And that's a crazy significant amount of DPS increase. Meanwhile, Tokon preparing to get some map control with his units, moving out a little bit, placing a bunker home just in case. But the creep from Aster is through the roof, really. Aster has basically covered all of his half of the map in creep. And I don't think Tokon can do much unscouted. There is, yes, 2 tanks hidden into the medivac, but I don't think they're gonna be able to do more than to actually deny this archery from being drawn up. Meanwhile, Aster prepares the backstab for his opponent. Those 2 medivacs, of course, are the most important part of his push. As long as those 2 medivacs are alive, not a lot of stuff can happen right now. Aster preparing for the surround with his links and paints, but just now Pain speed finishes, and just now Aster can take a favorable fight. Aster is preparing the surround as well. Not a lot of Marines survived the first push by the Zerg player, the first engagement by the Zerg player, but Aster loses his archery. He's supposed to place also macro archery here, and the 4th archery replays on another base location. Very clever tank positioning for Tokon that is now to defend from this link backstab. 1 tank already positioned back home, but right now Aster, oh, he gets through. That's a big loss for the Terran player, who's still not gonna get a lot of damage being dealt. He's still gonna be on point with his defense, but right now mutas are out, and I think that Aster wants to deal some damage. Mutas trying to get into the action, trying to dive on top of those medivacs, and right now the army of Tokon is gonna be cleared in this location. The medivacs are about to fall, the tanks are about to fall as well. Almost all of the banelings survive for Aster, and right now the workers' advantage is consolidated by the Zerg player, who's also getting his +2 melee, +1 air. His infestation pit already being dropped. He's ready to transition into, oh gosh, this is so cool. I never saw this. The player is ready to transition. Meanwhile, Tokon trying to get as much economy as possible. He's gonna drop a planetary fortress here soon, but showing off his mutas, of course, cause Tokon to take precautions for the flip-flops. Right now, actually 3 turrets over here, and 2 turrets in all of the other bases are gonna secure a pretty safe spot for Tokon in this game. Who's still on a pretty healthy amount of workers, is still getting his upgrades quite steadily, and his army is pretty powerful as well. Preparing for another drop, trying to maybe cancel one of those 2 archers. Tokon tries to get into late game without too much of a disadvantage. Of course, Zerg right now can easily snowball out of control once it gets to the late game. And Tokon is preparing a very interesting push over here, but Aster is moving out as well. And in this scenario, I think that the Zerg player is likely on an advantage just because there's so much creep out on the map. So many archeries actually already been produced. This archery is actually going down, and probably this one is as well, since the army of Aster is completely out of position. So Aster is gonna lose 2 archeries basically for free, but right now the army of the Zerg player is getting back into position and is far stronger than the one of the, oh gosh, the Terran player that is just now placing his tanks back to where they are supposed to be. Tokon tries to establish a safe position, but the mutas go for the surround and flanking on top of the tanks with the upgrade advantage of the Marines. Of course, it's not gonna be easy for them to trade with the Medivacs and Marines, but right now the army of Tokon is not very powerful. Most of his army is back home, and those mutas are just trading in a very advantageous manner. Clearing creep is the name of the game for Tokon, and it's get completely surrounded. This army is gonna get definitely smashed by the Zerg army, but this has caused a significant amount of damage right now for the Terran player to actually prepare the real push of this game. Force are out, a lot of bio is out as well. Acer trying not to take the engagement out of creep as well, but it's gonna lose a lot of units trying to do so. He goes for the backstep into the face of Togon, gonna kill a lot of SCVs by doing so, but those Liberators and these many Marines are not gonna be easy to clear for the army of Aster, who's not very good at dealing with these many units. He needs to get on top of 21 SCVs, meanwhile falling back home for Togon, who still has taken a lot of damage and has to make some magic happen to stay healthy into this game, while Aster pumping Adrenaline Glands, Ultras, 26 lanes and 7 Banes out to try and deal with the army of Togon. A lot of scenes have been used, 20 drones have fallen. The army is very strong for Aster right now. He's trying to take a very good engagement on top of these very good Marines, and too many scenes have been used. The army of Togon is no more both players taking immense damage to their economy right now, but Aster survives with an army. Togon, just some Liberators to deal with those mutas. Not much more. Togon trying also to establish a defensive position. Of course, those links are not gonna cut it, but Aster already expanding pretty much everywhere. He has a pretty healthy production as well. He has a lot of archeries out. He has actually 5 archeries, actually 6. And he's already into Infestors and Ultras production. Those mutas are not gonna be very useful for him in a little bit, so he's just trying to get as much damage as he can, getting some Liberators out as well. Of course, is a trade that our third player is taking very happily, getting medivacs and stuff out of the game with those mutas that are not gonna be that useful very soon. This one medivac is also gonna fall shortly after most of the reinforcement of Togon gonna go down as well. I think he's having a little bit too much right now, because meanwhile Togon has prevented his backstab over here. The army of Aster is very bulky right now. And those Ultras and Infestors are gonna have a hard time staying in the same place at the same time. Togon dives on top of those 3 archeries, getting 1 macro arch and 2 mineral archers. And right now Aster has to prepare a perfect surround to deal with the army of his opponent. Not that it is very strong, but it is very well split. And I think that Aster has lost all of his mutas right now, diving on top of those turrets. And the Infestors are trying all they can to keep track of those Liberators. Placing some good fungos on top of one, the other is gonna kill one of the Queen. Infested Terrans are gonna cut the deal. The other though is gonna escape with his life. 3 drones fall as well for Aster, who's on a pretty significant worker disadvantage right now. Has few bases, and Togon successfully managed to pull off a very strong offense. But Aster is a gas bank that's pretty much crazy. Of course, 8 more drones fall to the single Liberator. Anyway, crazy bank in gas for Aster. That still has to deal with this Lean Bane Ultra Infestor army that is not very easy to clear. Togon mainly almost maxed on bio. A lot of Liberators are out. No Vipers in sight for Aster, who just has Neural Parasite coming for him and a Great Aspire. But right now, I'd say Togon it's definitely Togon's game to lose right now. Aster managed to keep a lot of creep in the map, but this base over here is very vulnerable, and the third player can't really afford to lose it. So that's why he's placing his units over here. Meanwhile, Togon has a very good defensive position. This army, not easy to clear. If he dies on top of that with +3/+3 upgrades, it's gonna deal a crazy amount of damage to the archer. He cannot lose that archer. Togon realized he cannot deal a lot of damage to this. And right now, pretty strong Fungal is gonna probably get a lot of units down. And if Togon had a way to fall behind in this game, was this one. A lot of fire has fallen down for free for the Terran player, who just now takes his 5th base. And Aster suddenly has an army that Togon can never engage, basically. Ghosts are out, EMP upgrade is on the way. But Neural is almost done. Bailey has been replaced for Aster, who already has a Greater Spire up. And soon, the army of Aster could get very easily over control. The third player also expanding into locations at once, mostly for Larva, I'd say. 3 more Infestors and 21 Banes on the way. And right now it's time for Corruptors and Brewlords. Those Ultras steal the bulk of the ground army of Aster, but with these many Ghosts and Magoders out, those Ultras are gonna be pretty much useless very soon. So Aster has prepared his transition into Brewlords, Corruptors and Infestors. And I don't see Tokon being very ready to deal with this. No Fusion Core. Actually, I think he has the Fusion Core. Does he? No, yeah, yes he does. But he's not yet producing anything close to Balancruiser. He's still keeping his ghost count very high, and that's probably gonna be his way to deal with the Brewlords and the Infestors as well. But still, his ground army is gonna be extremely vulnerable to a lot of Banelings, and I think that the way Aster could possibly go is just make a ton of Banelings once his Ultras are gonna be out. Just like Dark did versus Alive. I don't know if you remember the game. You just made like 140 Banelings or something like that. Just rolled through everything in the base of Alive. It was hilarious. Anyway, Aster very prepared for anything that Token can do at this spot. But I'm really looking forward for Token to get into Nuke play. Yes, where is this Ghost Academy actually? Over here. Yes, Personal Cloak on the way. And he's probably gonna delve into Nuke play very soon. 4 Brewlords on the way as well for Aster, was almost maxed out and still has a pretty powerful gas bank. A lot of Liberators are trying to sit on top of here. Those Corruptors do not get a lot of ground to deal with them. With these many Ghosts out, Aster needs a way to backstab his opponent and deal with this heavy gas-based army. Both players starting to get their bank up while being fully maxed, and these Brewlords are a little bit exposed. They're both trying to get in position to get some snipes, but yeah, Liberators are still gonna shoot the main army away. A lot of Corruptors actually fall to the snipes of Tokon, and Aster really needs a way to, yeah, 60 more lanes on the way. It looks like he's gonna have a lot of Banelings at the ready, and that's probably gonna be the way he can actually get back into this game. Lanes with Adrenal Glands and +3/+3 kill things very, very fast, as you can see. And the Bunker and 4 Marines are gonna fall down. Of course, at this point in the game, you can trade those lanes basically for free as long as you get a little bit of damage for SCVs. Not something to frown upon, of course, nothing too strong. And right now, Aster trying to push forward with Creed. Those Marauders are not gonna have a long life. Creed is gonna be established by the third player, who's gonna place 4 Spore Cores on top of that. And Tokon just moves back and tries to backstab his, I don't know, his 7th base location for Aster? 6? Or something to the likes of it. Anyway, Tokon gets a good amount of damage, getting some drones down as well. A lot of lanes have died, but when these things actually come into play, I don't think the army is anymore. Well, very expensive way for us to actually kill the army of Tokon, but right now he's having neuroparasiting those Liberators who are actually dealing with the army of the Terran player. Ultras trying to dive with these many Brewlords still out. He needs really the perfect snipes to clear the army of Aster, and it looks like he was able to do so. A lot of Ghosts were already out. One more snipe is gonna kill 1 more Brewlords. But right now, Tokon overextending a little bit. Still perfect engagement by Aster, didn't cut off. The army of Tokon is just slightly stronger than one of Aster at this point. He's just too good at dealing with what Aster has in this moment. He needed probably Fundos more than he needed those Neurals. But I think that at this spot, probably just some Vipers will be better for the third player. Viper Banelings and well, Ultras are just not gonna cut it, so he's just switching out of those. Brulons, of course, very strong, as well as Corruptors, but these many go south. Need basically a miracle. Ranged upgrades, meanwhile, for Aster. I don't know what. Okay, cancel that. It was a mistake. Banelings are dying very fast to these many Liberators, and 2 more are in production for Tokon. Meanwhile, Ghosts getting creeped away of their lawn. A lot of infestors are out for Aster, but not very healthy on energy right now. Tokon manages to push off this ramp, push creep back, and get into a very powerful spot, a choke point in which he could push into the base of Aster. And this base is very important for Aster, because this one is just constantly getting targeted down by Tokon. Aster not really has the potential to split his army and engage in 2 different points. He has to stay put in one side and slowly mine out on that location, like here, and then going over here. But right now his creep is being pushed back a little bit too much. The army of Tokon is cutting it. Very good Fungal on top of those. Oh my god, Tokon loses the most of his ghosts after a perfect Fungal and some very, very good Banelings connections. Right now Infested Terrans not gonna do pretty much anything. Ghosts still getting some snipes on top of the Corruptors. Meanwhile, Tokon cleared one other base. And I think this one is gonna be cleared as well. Aster can't really afford to split his army, but there is not much going on for Tokon right here in this spot. He still has a very powerful production. His army right now not very strong. Not as strong as the one of Aster, at least. But he's very much outmaneuvering his opponent, getting a lot of drones, getting a lot of bases. And look just at the bank that the Terran player has. 5k minerals, 2k gas. He can replace his army in the blink of an eye right now. And Aster just not able to be maxed out for the past 5 minutes, let's say. After taking a very good engagement, it looked like he was able to cut through the army of Tokon, but eventually, these many Liberators and Ghosts are just very hard to push into. Those links can cause a lot of damage, since those 3 Liberators are over here. And meanwhile, Tokon decides to keep this base for his own planetary fortress, establishing a very forward location. And Aster is basically pinned right there. Infestors actually getting a little bit too forward, but still, Tokon wasn't really paying attention, and those Liberators are gonna get narrowed and then eventually killed. Right now, Liberators are trying to get on top of the bullets, but the snipes are what are gonna cut the deal. Of course, Corruptors and Infested Terrans are gonna make short work of those Liberators, but there's still a lot of ghosts out, and the army of Aster is pinned in the bottom left side of the map. Meanwhile, Tokon tries to maneuver with his Bio army, trying to get into the bases and get damage done. Aster can't move out of here with his army. He's pinned, he's losing Banelings left and right. And Tokon wants to end this right there, right now. Banelings trying to get the best possible connections, as well as Infestors trying to get the best possible Fangals, but they're out of energy. And those Infested Terrans are gonna get cleared by the Liberators with just Brulons and Corruptors out right now. Are they gonna be enough? It seems like they will. This single Overseer is still alive, and he's still gonna keep a very, very powerful boost to the army of Aster. He was eventually able to get on top of the one of Tokon with one very good engagement. It seems crazy, but he just power forced through those Liberators and those Ghosts with a crazy amount of bullets. Infestors weren't really off the fight after having a lot of energy used, but Infested Terrans were basically the tanks the Corruptors needed to clear the army of Tokon. The bank for the Terran player still very strong. And his production is gonna allow it to eventually keep one more stronghold of his planetary fortress. He's also trying to expand over here once he's gonna build this link as well. And Aster has a little bit of breathing room, but it's not really taking bases right now. He still doesn't have a very good mining, like his income is very low. He has a lot of gas, but his supply is not quite there. Tokon has replaced almost the whole of his army. He spent all of his bank, so hats off for Aster for making his opponent spend all of his resources, but he has to make the same engagement happen once again. Aster just can't do anything wrong. Perfect EMP of these ghosts on top of the infestors, and Aster has to move back while being targeted by snipes and liberators all over the place. Good fungal. He's gonna keep the liberators at bay, but the snipes are tearing through the army of Aster, who's probably gonna call a GG very soon. 5 more infestors are out, but the most of his infestors are actually out of energy. Just fungals trying to deal with the army of ghosts of Tokon. Many ghosts are going to actually die to those fungals. 14 SCVs are dying as well, but it's just fungals. There is nothing else going on for Aster at the moment. His supply is plummeting because the GG, and Tokon gets a very convincing victory in game 1 of this best of 5 semifinals. Well, game for our third player is still the... Well, Tokon is still the underdog in this game, in this best of 5, but wow, what a game by Tokon, who just kept on getting good engagements, outmaneuvering the slow army of the third player with his Bioball. And it looks like Aster decided to go for Acropolis for this game number 2 of this best of 5 series. Of course, a very easily defensible map, a map on which you can get to the late game stages in a little bit of an easier way. But Tokon looked pretty solid in game 1, so I'm very curious to see if he's gonna be able to just keep on having solid play throughout the series, or if he's gonna eventually crumble to a very strong opponent. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Acropolis, the victor of game 1 of this best of 5 semifinals, it is Tokon. Spawning instead in the top left hand corner, the third player is blue. He's very strong and is 1 point behind in this series. It is Aster. Is this gonna be a 17 hatch play? It looks like it is not. 17, well, yeah, 17, sorry, it's gonna be a 17 hatch. And, well, right now the metagaming, of course, starts to become a factor. Tokon not gonna proxy at all. And just Acropolis being a bad proxy map overall makes it even harder for Tokon to choose a proxy, a player that usually just never goes for something too cheesy. And Aster can just safely keep his hatch, send his overloads in a scouting pattern, but overall feeling pretty safe with his hatch first play. Meanwhile, Tokon going for a low ground expand. Nothing too crazy, but well, it still is a low ground expand. So it will still prove somewhat risky. But once again, those two guys have played each other so many times that it's basically metagaming upon metagaming. They probably know what the opponent is about to do, and Togon just feels safe with his command center on the low ground. His scouts be actually being placed just when he expected it to be, and the Reaper can safely move out, not expecting any links to come into his space anytime soon. The first 4 links are almost out, 2 queens being produced as well, while Aster tries to hide his drone to get a third archery as soon as he possibly can, and here it is being dropped. He takes happily a couple of link losses to get his archery down on time. It's a good experiment. Oh, 3 links, a little bit too much. 4 links will be very well too much, unless he gets the Reaper, which looks like he's not gonna be able to do because he's slightly off place with his queen, and the Reaper is gonna escape with his life, just barely, ready to get another scout soon. And while Togon is gonna go into Hellions production very soon, overload speed once again for Aster, link speed already almost done, and the starport already on the way for Togon. It needs to get some little bit of harassment out. He's still producing marines, so probably Aster is gonna drop a Binley Nest as soon as he sees what's in the base of Togon, and he's gonna find out very soon anyway.
Metamorphosis complete.
Right now the first 2 aliens are out, second 2 are in production. Aster doesn't have a lot of Hellions to actually answer that. Yes, his queen's in position, but he needs some links just to be able to scare the Hellions away, unless otherwise they're just... oh gosh. Okay, so the Marines are just there. Because... okay. Aster actually scouts the fusion core. I don't know if it's a fake by Togon. I don't think it is. He faked the steam pack and then cancelled it. Immediate lair drop by Aster alongside a Bailey Nest to deal with the Hellbats. A third command center as well as for Togon, who's just playing a very greedy game right now. Of course, the starport and the barracks are gonna be switched soon. So this could very well be just a ranged lead rush with a command center already on the way. Those aliens, no armor is out, so they are just gonna try to get as many the drone teams as possible and then get away. Very good surround with the links actually. With few links, he gets a perfect surround. Not gonna be able to get more than 1 alien down, or actually 2 aliens. But 5 drones have fallen to a very standard alien harassment. And is it PCs or is it... okay, it is PCs. After all, no armory, so it's just a very fast transition for Togon. I don't know, I just don't know. This is a very weird build by Togon overall. It goes into BCs without having an armory, without having like a lot of aliens to actually push together with the battlecruiser. While Aster already has a lot of spores being dropped, he's gonna have a Spire dropped soon enough. Another cannon on the way as well to get just some free queen kills. Okay, the Spy has been dropped by Aster. It's not gonna be on time to deal with the first battlecruiser, but I don't think there will be many more. Right now, Togon advances with his alien warband to just deal some damage, keep some creep away, and he just wants to deal a lot of drone damage. That's what he wants to do. 4 more drones are gonna fall, 7, 8. And just a lot of drones are actually falling. Aster not really on top of his defense right now. Those drones are just not lined up slightly. Very good micro right here by Aster. Still gonna lose 17, 18 drones, 19, 20. Those queens trying to do their best to save their children. But 22 drones will actually fall. And that's a little bit too much right now. As long as this battlecruiser stays alive, many more drones are bound to fall. Conqueror are actually doing a pretty good job at keeping this big boy at bay. But 25 drones overall have fallen. And Togon finds suddenly himself in a quite crazy advantage. Of course, we're talking Zerg, so 11 drones are in production and suddenly we're gonna be back into workers' advantage for Aster. But Togon has the tech. Togon has marine production still. The second battlecruiser on the way, he saves his first one. And actually, Aster is going into Mutas with +1.
Game paused.
And he goes purples. Auto cannon 3 seconds from being done. Oh, lag for Aster actually.
Game resumed.
Okay, game resumed. The guys are back into the game, hoping that Aster solves his lag issues. But Aster has his workers up again. He's producing mutas with upgrading his banelings and +1 air for the mutas. But meanwhile, Tokon has marines back home. Mutas don't really deal that good with battle cruisers. So, who knows? 4th command center on the way for Tokon. Very, very greedy Terran over here. But Aster, not really on top of this game right now. His choices have been somewhat weird, I'd say. I mean, he knows better than me probably, but yeah, armory on the way as well. For Tokon still has 9 marine being produced at the same time, with medivac production started as well. 2 BCs are gonna be able to deal some damage and eventually shoot the mutas away. By the way, this skin looks sick. Of course, a lot of queens are up for us there, so dealing with those battle cruisers if they go for the offense, not gonna be an easy, very hard task. Tokon still didn't place a single turret in this base. I mean, he has a lot of marines, but he's moving out with them and battle cruisers at the same time. If Aster is able to just send those mutas out while he's defending with the other units he has, he's gonna deal a crazy amount of damage. Because there will be basically nothing to deal with them in the base of Tokon. Of course, this base is very vulnerable. I don't think that Aster is gonna be able to keep it safe. He's sending also the mutas out, and the first one is gonna fall immediately. A lot of the marines are in production for Tokon, and a lot are gonna die over here to very good balance connection as well. Overall, very good defense by Aster. He still has to deal with the battle cruiser in his main base. There are gonna be a lot of fighting. 7 drones, 9 drones. More are falling right now. Balance cannot deal with battle cruisers. Mutas definitely do with +1 apparently. Because those are an upgraded battle cruisers, and mutas with +1 apparently deal a lot of damage. But meanwhile, back home Tokon will probably start placing some turrets very soon. And those mutas are just not gonna deal a lot of damage at you. I mean, battle cruisers are out and they're gonna be repaired. They cannot outmaneuver the army of Aster, but Tokon still has a lot of stuff moving out for him. I mean, he cannot move out right now though, because he will lose the battle back home. Mutas are gonna dive on top of the workers of Tokon. Right now it's just marines versus mutas, and these are a lot of mutas. They could also kill those marines pretty easily. Aster doesn't want to take 3 losses right now. Just 5 drones, SCVs have fallen. Now meanwhile Aster is losing a whole archery back home, and look at how many drones are falling. 18 drones and archery instructor, a lot of creep. 19 drones actually. Aster forced to move back. The workers are equal, but oh god, this battle cruiser is very boost. Mutas dive on top of it, get an easy kill. The tank is still out to deal with these many bailings. Good splits by Tokon, but this is a little bit too much reserve for him to actually deal with. These upgraded mutas can easily kill the army of Tokon right now. A lot of bailings have been used to push the Terran away. Meanwhile, Tokon was able to grid out a lot. Then another battle cruiser here. Okay, this battle cruiser is getting seriously brutal here, and not getting a lot of damage out. Battle cruisers overall weren't really the best play of Tokon this game. And right now, Aster just has a lot of mutas. He's gonna have almost 20 mutas out very soon. Still has I'd say an okay economy. Still expanding. Togon has to make something happen right now. Not a fusion core, but is this a misclick? I think it is. He's gonna finish that anyway. But yeah, Aster actually diving a little bit too forward in his building. He's gonna clear the most of the army of Tokon. Still, his ground army is basically non-existent right now. He's morphing some more Benins. Right now, he decides to dive with the Mutas. But Mutas don't trade that well with healed Marines. If those Medivacs are out, he needs the Banelings to make the magic happen for him. Creep being pushed back a little bit too much. He's not gonna take a favorable fight on top of the ramp with those Banelings out of creep. But he's getting upgrades, he's getting his drones up, and it seems like Aster climbed back into this game after a very shaky early game. This move out, not really a fan of it. But Banelings can still get some pretty good connections as long as those Mutas are supporting the army of Aster. Tokon cannot really dive too much into it, unless he will just lose his key units. Liberators are out as well, with range on the way for them as well. But once again, I don't think Tokon has a very powerful way to deal with those upgraded Mutas. Those Liberators and those tanks are just gonna hold to some focus fire. Right now it's not that many Marines out, 5 in production at a time, and Banelings can easily deal with those, while Mutas take care of the key units. Right now, Mutas are also diving on top of the Marines, because why not? The numbers are through the roof, and the Army of Tokon is gonna be shooed away. One more Liberator falling basically for free. The backstab of Tokon is of course the real winner of these engagements, but Aster is getting steadily to a maxed out army, he's getting his upgrades, he's getting a lot of drones. He has an okay economy once again, and he has his infestation beat down. He's also moving out with his Mutas, trying to find for any damage he can possibly get. Those are 28 Mutas. They deal a lot of damage. And the army of Aster eventually dies. Mutas try to get on top of the tanks, and everything gets surrounded. For Tokon, of course, the army of Tokon is still very strong, so not everything will get cleared. And right now, this Modern Archer is gonna fall as well. Actually, Aster probably not playing the best engagement he could possibly pull off. And right now, Tokon just stinks on his rally point. Aster trying to die with his Mutas as well. A lot of them are going to fall down. Liberators kill. Well, they deal a lot of damage actually. Those Mutas are eventually going to fall down, and Tokon has probably done it. This push is gonna be deflected, but Tokon has a very strong army back home. One more Liberator is gonna get cleared right here, but the economy of Aster right now is in shambles. He still has a lot of gas. He lost his Baneliness actually. And he doesn't have a high yet of that. Of course he cannot make one, he's still so behind in army supply. He's losing all of his Mutas, he's losing all of his army. Goes to GG. Tokon 2-0 match point in this best of 5 series. Very weird engagements by us with those Mutas. And made him lost a little bit too much out of creep as well. And maybe too many Banelings connecting with tanks, while Tokon was hiding the bulk of his Marines, waiting for a possible flank. So once again, Tokon just played the outsmart game, while having a very good opener with those PCs. And Hellions getting a lot of damage done. Aster asked for a couple minutes break. He's probably gonna decide for a strategy for the next game to net him a victory that he badly needs to climb back into the series while Tokon is at match point. And just wanna check real quickly what's the actual MMR right now of those two guys. I think Aster is slightly higher on MMR, even if it didn't look like he was better than his opponent. Like, Tokon really showing up today. 5.1k right now. Oh gosh, the guy dropped a little bit, huh? Well, Aster is about 5. Oh, okay, it's 5.1 as well. Yeah, so it's supposed to be a very even matchup. But Togon very strong, I'd say, into getting prepared for this matchup. It looked like he did his own works. He played two games in a way that he mostly made it hard for his opponent more than he played a style he felt confident with. I don't think I've ever seen Togon go into Battle Cruisers. I've seen him go into very late game bio armies, but there were a ton of ghosts in game number 1. And of course a very hard army to control, and he was he also lost 2 big engagements, but with the bank he created by just backstabbing his opponent and avoiding him from getting a bank of his own, he was eventually able to just clear the whole of the army of his opponent. And right now he's at match point after just being all over the place, just dealing a lot of damage everywhere is the way he is playing right now. And Aster either needs some way to avoid that, or he needs some way to deal some more damage of his own. So he could go into an Idol's play, or he could just play overall a slightly safer game, maybe going into just purely Bane into Ultras like he did in game 1, and or maybe going into Hydras as well, just to be able to survive to multi-round pushes and maybe get some damage done himself as well with lean backstabs and just having Hydra spread to snap some medivacs. Still, I think that Togon has pretty much his opponent figured out by this point. Aster looks like he prefers meter play. He plays a lot of meters also in CVP. But you come into game 3 after losing the first 2 games in a pretty unconvincing way, and you actually think, what am I gonna do? So, very legit break for him to take to give a thought to what he's about to do in game 3. Those 2 guys are playing for a spot in the finals of Apprentice. Some money is on the line, and I think they actually care about the tournament a lot. So I think that Aster is gonna mix it up a little bit in the next game. I don't think he's gonna play to his most comfortable build, but still he has to do something happen to get back into this series. What about the map? I'm really curious about what is gonna be the map he's going to choose. Like, he has chosen Acropolis after losing on Winter's Gate, because Winter's Gate is a very weak map, especially for ZVT. While Acropolis is probably the most standard of them, and Togon went for something really aggressive, and it actually paid off. He killed 25 drones with Hellions and Battle Cruisers, but mostly with Hellions. And it looked like Aster was so prepared to deal with Battle Cruisers, he didn't really prepare for Hellions. Like, he was prepared maybe for Hellbats, but Togon decided just to roll through with his Hellions and try to get as much damage as possible to the economy without caring about killing the Queens, just pulling them off a little bit. And well, it's just if not even Acropolis was safe for Aster to play on, he's supposed to actually choose maybe a map that he has chosen Trident, and Trident is a very different map from Acropolis. Like, on Trident, getting a safe third base very hard. So while still being extremely long in terms of rush distance, it's still one map on which it's hard to establish a very powerful third base location. So I'm very curious if he's about to do something off, or if Togon is about to do something a little bit off. But let's just dive into this game number 3, Togon at match point versus Aster CVT on Trident. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Trident is the Red Terran, currently in match point, hailing from Alpha Ends, coming from Poland. It is Tokon. Spawning instead in the top left hand corner, the Behemoth Zerg. It needs a victory to climb back into this series. It needs to win if it wants to get into the finals. One game from elimination, it is Aster. So once again, a 17 hatch for Aster. Yes, it is. So he knows Tokon is not gonna go for any proxy or something like that. He's not gonna try, like in game 1, to have 17 pool and do some damage with the lanes, while being overall safe about proxies. His spawning pool is still gonna be very well on time, 1.7 spawning pool. Pretty much the perfect time at which you can get it. Meanwhile, Tokon definitely not gonna proxy, it looks like. He's probably gonna try to expand very soon. He has the minerals to do so. But of course, it goes first for the Orbital Command and Reaper. But Aster's still scouting for some eventual proxies. Not gonna find anything too off. And let's see if he's gonna go into Overlord Speed once again this game. Tokon places his command center on the low ground once again. And Aster... Actually, it's okay, he keeps on producing Marines. He doesn't start the reactor yet. Tokon wants to get a factory out first, probably. But anyway, link speed gets started. Just one drone pulled off gas. This is gonna be Overlord Speed next for Aster, who still wants to get perfect scouting information with his obis. And the drone going into the third base is gonna get scouted, trying to morph into an extractor. He's gonna manage to do so, and Tokon will just leave his Reaper there to buy some more time for him to actually delay a little bit the third base of Aster, or just force him to take it in a bad spot. Is he gonna cancel? Yes, he is. And he's gonna make it one more again. The Reaper of Tokon just being on place to deal with the eventual links that are gonna come out, but instead Aster is sending just a wing out to shoot the Reaper away. Meanwhile, Tokon already morphing his second command center into a mobile command. Finally, Aster is able to take his base, taking minor losses, but of course it's a pretty big delay for him. While already having his natural almost saturated, he's gonna have to wait a little bit before he can start droning the third base. Meanwhile, Tokon wants to get into the main base of his opponent to see if it's gonna be an early there or something to the likes of it. Checks also if it's double expand, which is not, and the Liberator is gonna be the first unit to come out of this starport for the Red Terran player. Steam is on the way as well. Meanwhile, 16 lanes in production for Aster, of course cannot produce drones without sending anti-mine over here, and he needs something to kill the aliens and get surrounds and all the things that you need to prevent the Terran player from getting any harassment going on. Meanwhile, the third base of Aster almost done. Creep not yet flying through the map, still pretty good. Aliens are trying to get on the map as well. 8 more drones in production for Aster with some more lanes to help against those aliens, but the backstep has been prepared for Aster, who's waiting for the Tokon's aliens to show up at his doorstep before moving out and trying to delay the third command center for Tokon. Bite after bite for those two guys. Right now, Tokon also non-microing his aliens. He's gonna lose 2 of them. And his command center is gonna even get cancelled by Tokon after the links were just hacking at it. Very good win over here by Aster, who decided not to stay in his base this time. The Liberator not gonna get any damage done. The Spore Crawler gets in position, the Queen gets in position, and the Liberator's just trying to find a good spot by which it can get into the natural. Oh, actually not. He gets over here, just slightly out of range of the Spore Crawler. This is crazy. I didn't even knew you could do that. Spore Crawler gets in position now. Things are trying to delay this command center once again. They're just gonna cause a little bit of damage, but the aliens get into this middle line very well undefended. And a lot of drones are falling. 8 drones, 9, 10, and counting. Now aliens get a good surround. They're gonna clear all of the aliens. 14 drones falling down immediately. The advantage Aster created for himself is crumbled to bits. 19 drones fallen. Totally. The Liberators and aliens and Aster defense didn't look as good as it looked in the past. Right now, Aster losing pretty bad, having pretty bad drone losses. He's not in a good spot right now in the game. Of course, he has a lot of map vision. He has map control. Togon has the army, doesn't have the work advantage. He's gonna have his third very weak compared to the one of Aster. But Aster couldn't do anything for a lot of time. He didn't have a way to spend his resources because he just kept on remaking drones for the past 2 minutes. Just look at the amount of resources he's floating. Like, he has no way to spend it. He doesn't have larva to spend it. He's producing queens to just spend the amount of minerals he has right now. Meanwhile, Togon trying to move out, knowing that he causes a lot of damage. And he's probably going to maybe Doom Drop. No, he's gonna place his stance over here and steam on the 4th base of Aster, trying to get a cancel. He's gonna whack one. Aster doesn't even want to protect his base while getting a base on the other side. Hydra then actually being dropped by Aster. That was my call. And Hydra's just help with spending resources very fastly with the double upgrades, the actual cost of the Hydra, and the bank of Aster needs to be spent right now. He needs this micro hatch as well to have a good larva income. Right now he's starting to spend his resources. Roof Spines on the way, bending speed, +1 melee and +1 carapace. He has a lot of overloads on the way to eventually pump out a lot of units at once. And he's probably going to be mostly Hydras and Bane's Infestation Pit being dropped as well by Aster. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map though, combat shields are on the way, +2/+2 for the Bio Army of Togon is on the way. And it looks like the Terran player has indeed a very strong ground army, at least compared to the one of Aster, who's just a lot of leans and nothing else. He's not even morphing Banelings yet, until he needs them. Still 12 drones on the way, gonna be able to completely saturate the 3rd base and start saturating the 4th base as well. 70 millions on the way, still no Hydras in sight, but Aster is starting to spend his resources, is starting to get a powerful army, not as powerful as the one of Togon though. He was preparing for a push on 2 different sides probably with this Mediac out. Also a very forward base, gonna be turned into a planetary very soon. The amount of map vision Aster has is crazy, really. Crazy is gonna know everything that's happening into his side of the map, like immediately. Like this push is gonna be scouted, and Aster is just gonna react accordingly. Is it though? Oh no, he's not. Like he saw it, but he didn't saw it. He didn't see it. Well, Spire being dropped as well as the Hive. Pathfinder glance. Aster taking a little bit too much at once. He doesn't have the army to eventually deflect the push. He's not been scouting for a little bit too long. And Togon with a push over here may very well establish himself in a quite powerful position on top of this ramp, while getting a lot of kills on this side of the map as well. Aster doesn't have what he needs to clear the army of Togon. Togon is moving forward. He's in a very good spot. Can he do this? Can he get into finals? 8 drones falling down into this space. 10 drones falling down. 10 SCVs are actually falling down over here, I think. Actually, over here. To mute us, I don't know. I don't really know what just happened. But right now, Aster producing Vipers. Adrenal Glands +2. Melee, 22 lanes. He's desperate to get something. Some micro advantage he badly needs to clear the army of his opponent. He has a lot of Hydras, he has a lot of Links, he has a lot of Pains. Like, he has the army he needs to clear this. But he cannot split that. He cannot really avoid any more damage from coming into his main base. If he loses the lair or the infestation pit, it's gonna be a disaster for the Zerg player. Actually, Togon is pretty much trying to get as many drones as possible, while those Vipers and those Banelings are gonna be able to clear the rest of the army of Togon. Very good at ducks on top of the tanks. A little bit too many. Banelings actually died over here. Those Lings are trying to get the backstep, not gonna be able to deal. And everybody, the station pit at the Spire fell to the hits of those Marines. Those Vipers need to do something to those Medivacs if you want to get some crazy damage on the like. Okay, it's just the Hydras actually get it. Drop a Parasitic Cloud on top of that. Please. And this Medivac is gonna fall. Oh, it is not. Togon still steaming through the creep of Aster. It's gonna get cleared very, very soon. +3/+3 on the way as well for Togon, and Aster doesn't have his key tech buildings to make an army powerful enough to definitely shoo his opponent away from his creep. Togon moving forward, he has a very powerful army, he has split his marines. Aster cannot simply dive on top of that. Those Vipers need very good attacks on top of the tanks and the Medivacs. Right now, 2 Medivacs have fallen. Those Banelings try to go a little bit too forward. Right now, the army of Togon is very, very powerful compared to the one of Aster. Upgrades advantage is gonna kick through as well very soon. And those Vipers really need to make some magic happen. Tanks are still pretty scared away by the Vipers, but as long as there's this much bio, so Aster cannot really move forward. Those lanes with the Adrenal Glands are gonna deal a lot of damage to those units without a Medivac being over there. The single Baneling is gonna help as well, and right now Hydras clear this. And the main army of Togon moves away with tanks unsieged, and I think those Hydras with Parasitic Cloud perfectly placed on top of the bio are gonna be able to show the army of Togon away. The Terran player, of course, still has a very powerful economy going on for him, but Aster able to get his stack out, survive a very strong push, and still have a lot of Vipers out for him. Right now, Aster looking very good. Liberator Switch is the play of the game for Togon, but Vipers pretty good at dealing with Liberators, that's for sure. Togon just doesn't stop. He still has a lot of bio, but now he has Liberators to deal with the ground army of Togon. But those Liberators, a little bit too forward, I'd say. Vipers abduct the most of them, and the ground army of Aster looks like it's gonna be diving on top of the Marines. Most of them actually survive. The Liberators are of course out of range, but it looks like the bio army of Togon with +3/+3 upgrades is just a little bit too much for Purling Bane. And right now, Purling Bane item, sorry, right now Aster desperately trying to pull his drones. Togon is done it. He has definitely broken the defenses of the Zerg player who's desperately trying to escape. Togon with a 3-0 victory is gonna get into the finals of Alpha X Apprentice. Very back and forth games all over the series, but Togon overall gained a very convincing 3-0 victory. Going into the finals versus Asuna, the opponent, he lost 3-0 in the... or was it 3-1 maybe? Into... into group stage. So is he gonna be able to take revenge on Asuna, or is Asuna going to win the whole of the tournament? Of course, a very intriguing and surprising path by both those players. Both weren't really the most favorite to win the whole tournament, as Asuna was probably the favorite. Aster, though, has played an incredible tournament. His group stage was like insane. It was, I think it was close to being the best player out of the group stage, and just thrashing all of his opponents. But Tokon, while still getting out of his group by the skin of his teeth, was able to get into finals, winning 2 times in a row, 2 very hard matchups, and I think he's getting into finals in a very convincing way, and I think he can make something happen against Asuna. I'm not too sure if Asuna is going to win this whole tournament. Of course, he's the favorite. He's a crazy good player. I think he's 5.7 right now, or something like to the likes of that. But overall, all I have to say is that those guys have played an amazing tournament. Have been very strong so far, and I hope they're gonna be even better next season. Of course, good luck for Tokon in the finals, and stay updated to know when the finals are actually going to be played. It's gonna be probably this weekend. And well, guys, thank you for watching. Thanks to the guys playing. I'm gonna find someone to actually raid right now. Let's see who of the guys is actually streaming right now. Find out real quick. I think that Chris is streaming. He's not streaming StarCraft, and I already raided him before. No, they're not streaming. Chris. Yeah, I think Chris is the only one streaming right now. Oh, you'll say hello to my friend Chris. Thank you for being here, guys. See you for the next games of Alpha X Apprentice.